So Maninder, you have rebranded and repositioned your company and now you call it Kiya.ai. I know that you guys were doing pretty well and nice under a name called Infrasoft Technologies and serving hundreds of banks in and outside India and BFSIs and blah blah. So could you quickly, briefly elaborate?
Yeah, this transition happened around a year back after COVID. We were looking at that, we should rebrand. Infrasoft Technologies was such a long name and our earlier brand was infrasofttech.com. So we were really confused. People never used to consider us as a FinTech, and all new FinTechs which are coming, they were all having very small names. So we really wanted to see that can we actually choose a small name. And also during this time we were actually adding a lot of AI ML related stuff into all our products. And when we used to go to our customers, they used to still consider us the same name of the old product, and they could never appreciate that what all new things we are doing. So we were thinking that can't we add a new brand itself, which actually tells that we have also added a big way AI tools into our products. So looking at these two objectives, we thought we actually choose a name which actually will give us more in current line of thoughts our product should represent. So that's the real thing around which how we rebranded as a Kiya.ai. Kiya actually in Swahili also called something which we had done, and in our Punjabi also it's called Kiya. So we actually done the AI integration to all our products. We are now, and we also wanted to give us a touch of a FinTech, new generation FinTech, and also we are running within our company, we are running such a way operations where different kind of BUs can run them as a small FinTechs. So keeping that in mind, we wanted to change the internal teams mindset also towards a new young FinTech kind of model. So that's how we started calling ourselves as a Kiya.ai. Thank you.
Thanks, Maninder. I think it's very heartening to know that he's in Chandigarh after many years for a specific purpose, and Kiya comes from the Hindi Punjabi word Kiya, right? Kitta would have been slightly tough. All right. I'm trying not to follow a very specific sequence. Idea is to trigger some response and thoughts from our learned panelists. So, Rajiv, coming to you. I think microfinance is a term which many of us have come across in our life. So, I'm trying to understand from a micro insurance perspective how valid and how fresh that term is, and how is this moving in our country, keeping in mind the FinTech domain, or you can call it the BFSI growth.
Great. I think the timing is absolutely right. With the new chairman, Mr. Panda, coming in, I think there is a lot of focus on micro insurance. Basically, he wants people to get into tier 3, tier 4 cities, and he's encouraging entrepreneurs. So if somebody wants to create a unicorn, here is an opportunity. If you guys can identify the tier 3, tier 4 cities and towns in your area, and look at promoting insurance, starting an insurance company, to get deeper into the markets of Punjab and Haryana, I think here is an opportunity. I feel the next growth story is going to come from the micro insurance, and I think we have to reach out to people where our own Pradhan Mantri has been saying that insurance for all, and insurance for all can only happen if we go beyond tier 1, tier 2 today, where most of us are focusing. Correct?
A small auxiliary is that how do you quickly see startups having a skin in this kind of a opportunity?
So I think this is an opportunity for startups to come, apply for a license, whichever state you want to apply for a license. The idea is looking at offering a lower capital base. You don't need to invest as much to start a full-fledged insurance company. But if you're looking at starting an insurance company in a particular state, focusing on tier 3, tier 4 towns, I think the facilities offered by the regulator are far sharper. So if some of you are keen, you should look at this, study about it, apply, and probably you could be the next unicorn or the first unicorn from Chandigarh, which most of you want here to be.
Is it fair to assume that offline you could guide people? Because I think we'll try not to take too many questions in this discussion.
So
offline, I think.
Sure. More than happy to do that. Let me share with you. Policybazaar started in 2008 with less than 5 crores of premium. Today they do about 13,000 crores of premium every year, and this was only from tier 1, tier 2 cities, right? So I think start can always be slow, but if there is an opportunity is here. I mean, health penetration in India is the lowest, right? I mean, I think we all realize that most health spends today are coming from your own, expenses rather than insurance providing that expenses. So throwing people into poverty line, every year. So opportunity is big. Offline, more than happy to discuss. Anybody has any specific questions, I'll be more than happy to address that.
Thanks, Rajiv. Thanks a ton. Dheeraj, you have come to that. Iqbalji, there's a lot that has to be asked of you. But allow me one question which is related first to Dheeraj. Dheeraj, you started your founding career from a more edutech thing. And now, as I said, you are in a hybrid of FinTech and a marketplace, an aggregator platform. And my understanding is that you have focused on an SME niche, and you are on one side putting a marketplace, and you are also encouraging people to bring in investment. Could you share your vision around the model you have created under Sanjeevani?
Yeah. So first question was from EdTech to FinTech.
Your journey in a couple of lines.
So the common thing becomes in both the things is tech. Now any business which has to scale up, I think today tech is the key word. And to illustrate that, a very simple example. How many of you are having mobiles? Almost everyone. 1998, how many of we were having mobiles? 98, I think very few. Less than 1%. So in 25 years, from less than 1%, or you can say 0%, it is 100%. And even we can use the term more than 100% because many of us are having more than one mobile. And everything today has moved to mobile. So, and especially when we talk about banking, finance, insurance, today everything is happening on technology platform using a mobile. So scaling up is there. Every customer has the choice. Like Policybazaar, they have been a very major disruptor in bringing the kind of policies which people require over there. So that's how basically tech plays a key role. As far as the model is concerned, like you said, Sanjeevani is a FinTech platform where the people who are in need of working capital, the small and medium enterprises who are in need of working capital. Today, not many startups who are confident, and when they are growing, they don't want to dilute their equity at a larger scale. So over there, venture debt becomes the key part. So every small medium enterprise who is in need of working capital, so the platform arranges the capital for them. But how? Again, the reverse part. All of us who are having some investable surplus and we diversify. So none of the financial products in the market today offer you a stable and secure source of returns. You go to banks, so you get 5 to 6%, and that too again in the last 2 years when the interest rates, they have risen upwards. Mutual funds, all other these things, they are associated with market. So whenever you want a stable and secure source of returns, you don't have much options. So that is where Sanjeevani does. As a FinTech, it combines, it integrates the HNIs or anybody who wants to invest for a short time, right, with good returns, decent returns to the tune of 10 to 15%. So that is where it connects with them.
So that,
and that gap is...
That is the FD plus in the marketplace now.
Yes. Double than the FD returns. With security, they are backed by bank guarantees and credit insurance. So that is where the things they lie.
All right, thank you. And Iqbal, now your turn. Now Iqbal, has a lot of people present at the moment in the room. His initiatives have been almost like a legend in the region, and he is handling huge funds, personal and for various investors. So Iqbal, your journey from a banker to a founder to an investor personally and the amalgamated funds, could you share a little bit on that, because that itself is an inspiration and an eye-opener to people, how a journey begins. And उसके साथ एक added query ये है, do you focus more on or amalgamated funds more into the fintech space or a non-fintech space? And whatever your answer, the why goes with it. Kyun?
Thank you for inviting me here. So I would like to share with you definitely the journey from a banker. I was one of the founding team members with HDFC Bank, and then I moved to Citibank as head of this part of the world, and then I started in 2004 my company, which is based out of Chandigarh. And so we were very clear that, so as the journey we talk about, yes, even today we are struggling, yes, we are struggling. There are many challenges. Every day in and day out there is a struggle. As we are growing, we are expanding, there are always a problem and issues with the right set of people, processes, and definitely the organizational structure. So those are the challenges which are always there for an entrepreneur. That you should be very clear in your thought process that in the journey of an entrepreneurship, you know, I left as a vice president with Citibank and I was getting a dollar-denominated salary. So, you know, it was very clear in my thought process that from a traditional family, we have never done, my father has never done any business. He was in the job for many years and stick to the single company itself. So the journey is not an easy thing, but definitely it's very fulfilling. And maybe my counterparts, colleagues are likely to be the MD of HDFC Bank very soon. So all become group heads maybe 5-6 years back. So the point is that it is up to you. You have to choose your journey, you know, what kind of a role or what kind of a thing you want to do differently.
So it's like a calling, your calling.
So again, I think I have chosen that path, not to be in a corporate world, do something different, which can have an impact, and at the same time, not in a tangible form, but in the intangible form, we have earned the respect, or you can say the relationship of more than 10,000 clients in this part of the world, starting with HNIs to individuals and all that stuff. So it is like an extended family now. And so the point is that intangible what you got, not in the monetary form, I don't think so that you can get it. So it's again your choice.
जब आपको एक hidden gem वाली बात कर रहे हो, तो ये hidden gem होना, is it a plus or a bit of minus? Hidden gem.
Hidden gem, तो sir अभी it's not, that is not an issue. Hidden gem, तो I'm saying one should remain humble. The business which I am in, and I just want to share with you, I think that the biggest lesson and the teaching which I learned in my business of now we are full stack, except bank, distributor, manufacturer, asset management company, NBFC. On health side, we are doing a lot of stuff. Again, I think everything is done by the professional CEOs, and majority of them are a chartered accountant. And so the point here is that each vertical, each P&L, definitely on FinTech side also we are doing a good job to get the people placed in BFSI space. I think the one thing which I learned in this business is that you have to remain humble, you know, and at the same time हमारा वो कटोरा पहले 1000 का होता था, फिर 1 लाख का हुआ, फिर 10 लाख का हुआ, फिर 1 करोड़ का हुआ, but हम रहेंगे भिखारी ही, you know, because we are going out. Again, I'm saying we are looking at an asset and liability side of the business, and we are more on the liability side of the business. तो हम रहेंगे हमेशा भिखारी, और परमात्मा कहेंगे भिखारी ही रहो तो अच्छा है. So I think this makes your business very humble, and because you are meeting with all the super HNI clients, so we remain grounded in the business.
Great, आपने वो एक थोड़ा सा ओवरऑल दे दिया, बट ये दोबारा ऑफलाइन भी पूछेंगे कि आपके इन्वेस्टमेंट का फोकस फिनटेक में ज़्यादा है कि नहीं. So coming back, Maninder, you know, I'll just narrate in 20 seconds an experience. There was a time कि ancillary units होते थे, मारुति के, Indian Telephone Industries के, and they were supplementing and supporting the main industry, right? So in fintech or BFSI space, do you see the startup as some kind of ancillaries or building blocks? Because startup, as somebody had defined earlier, need not start big. You have to start always a long, biggest journey with the first step. तो छोटे से शुरू करना है school. I assume so. तो उसके बारे में would you like to share something that the building block story applies to this segment?
Yes, I think the whole push from government and the evolution of FinTech has really helped us to make the new startup much more easily. I think the startup 20 years back would not have been so easy. Evolution of internet is there to support us. So today when you are opening a new startup, you need some way of getting the payment, some way of establishing your client identity. So lot of different fintechs and tech companies have actually made these building blocks and are ready to give you on a small renting model. So for example, let's say you want to do PAN verification, you want to do Aadhaar verification, you want to do small payments processing. All these things are now easily available as building block to make any startup, any fintech take off in a much faster way. Especially because technology landscape has become so complex. It's not if a startup has to, if fintech has to, startup has to do everything on their own, it will take 2 years, 3 years to take off. But today's startup can actually take off in 2 to 3 months in a big way. So that's how the building blocks all related to start a company, launch it on internet, launch it on your mobile. All those building blocks are lying ready. It's now your only idea which makes the whole thing take off.
I mean, any examples you would like to share with the people, because many of us who will be looking from a startup perspective may not have observed these building blocks. Yeah. So any entities whom you think are actually those building block type of companies.
Two examples are there. Karza.in, Karza.com I think is this thing, and Setu.co is there. These are the company which gives you all the types of tools to write your own integration with any kind of government verification, GST certifying, EVO, etc. Your all invoicing. These all building blocks are available. Lending in the fintechs, a lot of new lending people are trying to model in their own regions. So lending related, all the APIs, all the your credit scoring, etc. All these models are ready-mades are available as building block. You only have to see your new idea in your region, how you want to take off as a fintech. So that's how you are able to make your start your fintech much faster.
Okay, thanks, Maninder. Rajiv, there is a normal knowledge with people that if I take an insurance policy, whether it is health or house or automotive or whatever, तो अगर no claim है तो no claim bonus की तरह कुछ discount मिल जाएगा. That kind of a thing, and it happens with most of the insurance products. Across the globe now there is a buzz, and some places it's actually happening. Technology is being used. I'll give one example. आप उस पे थोड़ा बताएं. In automotive, insurance companies give you credits if you are a safe and a green driver. So technology means there is an OBD on board or in our cars, and the statistics, the online or whatever, they are made available. And the insurance company sees that you are a good driver, you are safe on the road, you are not a menace. So do you see this happening in our country in the near future in a proper way? And same applies to health. We take health insurance, but nobody bothers, are we actually healthy? Are we doing something about healthy? So what is the change you are seeing, and how do you see this happening in our country?
So I think as you asked this question, this is already on, in India. I mean, today if you look at motor insurance, earlier you used to get a low claim bonus if you don't claim, right? And you paid a premium, each year basis, whatever were the rates. But today I think if you drive your car lesser than your other colleague, obviously you pay a much lesser premium. So there are products which says that pay as much as you drive, Similarly, responsible driving, there are tools today which will tell how many times you used a sudden brake, how good is your driving, basis which the premiums get calculated. So all these products which you speak about, which is happening elsewhere in the world, are already launched and already happening in our country, and I think this is what is going to be the next revolution. Similarly, on the health side, I think if you're a healthy individual, obviously if you don't claim, and if you maintain yourself well, I think there are two types of, I mean, you don't get a no-claim bonus, but obviously, you get credit for maintaining good health. So you get extra sum assured added to your sum assured which you originally took, to buy a health insurance policy. The next time you have to pay a renewal premium, the credits which you get, basis the good health you maintain, can be used to set off the premium which you have to pay during renewals. I think all these are going to be the ways in which we will reach out to more and more people and ensure that the penetration levels in this country improve.
I'm repeating this because I will, for the simple reason that now this again, where do you see startups? Because I have yet not heard really, at least in the region, anyone trying to ride on this potential or this possible wave. So what will be your take on this? That startups isko kaise embrace kare ya kya kare iska?
See, as I mentioned to you, I mean, obviously there are three in the ecosystem. You have the insurers, you have the bankers, and then you have the distributors, and you have the tech players, right? At the end of this, there is opportunity everywhere, I mean, if you are somebody who wants to start a tech startup, obviously on these lines you can think of many more innovations which can help, improve penetration both in the banking side and insurance side. But if you are somebody who wants to run an insurance company, there is an opportunity for you to do so. And when you start in tier 3, tier 4 cities, what is the biggest challenge today? Why do people don't go to tier 3, tier 4 cities? The cost of distribution, the price which a customer in tier 3, tier 4 city wants to pay is very different from the price or the affordability a tier 1, tier 2 city guy would like to pay. I think, so if you start thinking, there are many areas one can innovate. I mean, the choice is yours. The opportunity is big. I think this space is going to get much, much more bigger.
Okay, great. I think Dheeraj has some thoughts also to add on the same.
So, your query wise that how these startups can do. See, when we talk about FinTech or InsurTech is a subsidiary of FinTech. So, primarily you can consider startups as emerging unicorns and established players as dinosaurs. So, these startups today are these emerging unicorns, they are eating up the dinosaurs. And don't be surprised if those established dinosaurs, right, like in your real world also the dinosaurs are becoming extinct, they also become that. And when you say that, primarily when we talk about FinTech, there are three key areas. And this is all open source nowadays. The first part is apps, where you have the user interface. The second part which comes over there is APIs, so processes, and this is all like he said, you can pull up the Aadhaar verification, PAN verification. So many APIs are there, the credit history and all that from there which you can do. And third comes the product innovation which comes with analytics, the data analytics. So in all these three areas you will find so many FinTech startups which are actually helping the dinosaurs in a big way. And so you will find in coming times more and more FinTechs, ruling the roost.
Point taken. Anuradha has come on stage, so she wants us to finish faster. I'll go with one more round because there are important things. We are not just trying to kill time. So I think people have been here for a specific reason.
Absolutely, we value their time and thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. So the important question here is for Dheeraj yourself and also for Rajiv. The online availability of products, information versus the human touch challenge. Would you like to mention that as a threat or as an enabler? Anything?
So I think
whatever short.
India is a big country, right? I mean, the online market has grown rapidly. It's revolutionized the industry, the FinTech, the InsurTech space. I mean, today, we have connected with 30 million policyholders in Policybazaar in the last decade. But is that enough? I mean, are we there? If you look at our total market share, forget our market share online. Online, we may be 93% market share holders, But what is the market size? The market size is much bigger. I think there is space for both. I mean, India will continue to be, offline dependent for a very long time because people in tier 3, tier 4 cities would obviously like to see a face. I mean, So it has to be a mix of both tech and offline.
So something very tangential brought this to my mind. Demonetization के बाद actual cash circulation has gone up. तो हमारी cash economy मतलब नीचे नहीं जा रही. Although we are this thing. So Dheeraj, anything you would like to add or?
I just want to say one thing very quickly. I mean, today India is holding G20 presidency, right? I mean, and as part of G20 presidency, we have started an association called Startup 20, G20. I'm a task force member of the G20 Startup 20 code. The ecosystem for the startup is going to get bigger. I mean, India today is in the capacity of creating something which all the G20 nations will follow. So we've had series of meetings in the last couple of months. And trust me, this is the time for all of you to think of doing something on your own and creating something big. Opportunities both within India and outside India will be available to you in terms of people bringing tech support, in terms of funding support. I think all this is going to happen in a very big way in the coming months.
So it's a tech and generation neutral question. You will find plenty of people who are more comfortable with doing the things online themselves. Earlier, if we had to go abroad, right, you used to have those travel planners coming and telling you. But now, majority of people, especially the young, the generation Z, they do it online themselves. So it has its own pros and cons in a country like India. So if it can be a hybrid model, wonderful. But at the same time, when we talk about technology, the key purpose of technology is not only efficiency, but bringing the cost down. Okay. So that is where the challenge comes over there. So even in insurance also, he will agree that the kind of commissions which are being given, right? So that is where the cost, when the premium, if the premium cost has to come down, the commission cost has to come down, the commission cost has to come down, so it will have an effect on the livelihoods of so many insurance agents. So
it's a cascading effect.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just want to share with you the comment in the sense that I think both the things are likely to coexist. So like we are handling majority of the HNIs in this part of the world. So all the youngsters, they are very tech savvy, but when we dissect the data, again the people who are little older and having are more wealthier, they are more comfortable even in spite of we are sharing and saying that everything on technology or platform or execution or device, but even in spite of that, they would like a human touch. So even in the last month, definitely what I'm saying is that technology is an enabler, but technology is not the solution. I'm saying, so last week there was one amendment which was done by the finance minister on that side of the fund. So we just have 4 days and we just call all our clients, we have sent across all the digital notes and everything. But even in spite of that, they want human touch to discuss that this amendment will definitely impact and how quickly they should put their money. So we use the technology as a platform and garner the highest amount of money in this part of the world. Wow. I know highest in the by standard, but the point is that is in a 4-day and we also have 1-day holiday in between of that. So what I'm sharing with you is that technology is definitely an enabler. But you say that with technology, people will move in, especially
so we can't move with people,
especially who have the money, where we are targeting. I think retail participation is there, and they feel that they know everything. So we always offer the platform.
Perfect, Iqbal. The last question, which is open to everyone. Last comment, 15-20 seconds.
No.
There's a lot of talk about, Anuraag, hold on please. There's a lot of talk about financial inclusion and digital economy as an enabler and blah blah blah. The only one line comment, how do you see this impacting the BFSI growth in future? I mean, Maninder, you can start with that and just one line.
So I'm saying there are 11 industries, and when I talk about BFSI, because of technology, the maximum disruption we have seen in BFSI space. Because the service industry and technology is disrupting, and there are more and more private equity and other guys are coming in, funding them, fueling them to create a unicorn. I think this is a business which has disrupted so much, although it is regulated, but still disrupted so much. Okay. I don't know, I'm saying the this business is further going to get, so you talk about broking, you talk about distribution, you talk about everything, the margins are shrinking, people are fueling, people are funding, although earlier we were talking about the top line, now everybody talking about the bottom line. I think, BFSI is the only thing which has been getting disrupted out of 11 sector in a big way, but there is a long way to go because of our population penetration or otherwise on financial product is still very, very less.
Maninder, any last thoughts on this same?
Our country is known how evolved it is, how developed it is only by the financial products as supporting Iqbal. So with the revolution on the payment side, which everybody has used it in using a UPI, and Melinda Gates came and that also she actually tried to experience how easily without touching you can pay water bottle also using a UPI. So I think the tools are there, financial, and everybody has opened account till the tier 3, tier 4 cities. The government account has been opened with the financial inclusion model. I think the idea is that now the waiting at how more fintechs can actually use it. The building blocks are ready and the payments revolution is already there.
So Rajiv and Dheeraj, anything these two gentlemen have missed?
One line, I think she's got very tense now, I think.
No.
So one quick line. Financial inclusion is going to create the next unicorns of this country. I think there is enough opportunity.
That's exactly what I also wanted to say. I think the technology, especially the FinTech, I think it has brought the banking, financials, every system within the ambit of a common man. And that's how...
Great. I think with this, the technology remains an enabler and humans are not going to go away anytime soon. Thank you, fellow panelists.